Good morning.
Good morning and welcome to Media Pulse, the show where we help you make sense of Thai politics.
So finally, Thailand has a fully functioning government of Prime Minister Anutin Charnvirakul,
Yes.
who led his cabinet to present its policy statement to the parliament this week. And what followed was 2 days of intense debate. That is understandable, Kun Clare, because there is bad blood between Kun Anutin's party, Thepchai, the core of the coalition, and Thai Party, one of the main opposition parties.
The independent opposition.
Yeah, so-called independent opposition party.
Yes. Well, it is a minority government, but it doesn't mean that it lacks notable characters. So, of course, we have Prime Minister Anutin Charnvirakul as the main star of the show. And there are also other ministers who are already receiving praise for their performances on the first couple of days in office.
And in his speech, Prime Minister Anutin said, I assure you that we are not a lame duck government. I'm a mouse. His nickname is Nu,
It's
right?
Nu.
It means mouse,
Yeah.
right? Therefore, a mouse is not lame like a lame duck. Rest assured that this government will perform its duty from this very minute on.
Yeah. It was said as a response to comments from a Thai MP that his government only has 4 months in office and will not be able to get anything done, which leads to a period of inertia in the public sector.
So for your information, for those who have not been following the Thai politics closely in the past few weeks, the reason why the Anutin government is being seen as a lame duck government is because of its commitment to dissolve the House within 4 months after taking office.
Yeah.
So the countdown begins on the very first day that the government assumes office. So in practically, the Kun Anutin government has only 4 months to be really fully functioning,
Yeah.
and plus another 3 or 4 months leading up to the next snap election. Yeah.
So not a very long period of time to be in office, but that's due to the agreement with the People's Party
That's right, yeah.
for them to vote for Anutin as Prime Minister. Anyway, now let's talk about public perception towards policy statements and Anutin's minister. I mean, we have some comments on Thai PBS social media. They're in Thai, but we've translated them for you in English. And we're going to talk about 3 ministers who are the star of the show, I think.
Yeah.
The first one we're going to talk about is Supati Suthampan, the Minister of Commerce. There's a quote. It says, I admire the Minister of Commerce for accepting the position, even though the term will be very short, for her ideas and listening to everyone. We also have another one. It says, if we have more able people like her working with the civil servants, Thailand would be able to make it through without having to rely on politicians.
Another netizen said, choosing a good and able person for the job. I like it. She sets goals for the country.
Yeah.
The reason why people were so impressed with her performance is because only a few days in office, she has been able to really show a good grab of the important issues facing the country.
She knows the stuff.
And she was quite eloquent in answering, the comments, answering the questions from the opposition during the debate. So I think, she off to a very good start.
Yeah, she did well. There are many more, but let's move on to the comments about Niti Thanpraphat, who is the finance minister. This one says, I like what he said. He has a comprehensive vision, which is easy to understand. I send my support and hope he succeeds. Thank you for helping the country during this critical time. Another person says, I'm impressed. Thank you to the Prime Minister for putting the right man in the right job.
But the cabinet member who seems to have been receiving the most kudos is none other than Kun Siyasak Phongketkaew, the foreign minister, whose performance at the UN General Assembly 2 weeks ago was very impressive in the eyes of many Thai people.
Yeah.
So what he said during the House debate was essentially an expansion of what he said at the UN General Assembly. There in New York, he was responding to what he believed to be very distorted remarks by his Cambodian counterpart, Prak Sukhon, right?
Sukhon, yes.
And at one point, he accused the Cambodian Prime Minister of making mockery of the truth, which was quite serious. That I think, and Kun Siasak admitted that he initially prepared a much softer speech, a speech with a much softer tone, right?
Yeah.
But after having listened to Kun Praksukon, the Cambodian foreign minister, over lunch, so he changed his mind and then rewrote his speech. His lunch was spoiled.
Oh, no.
He admitted that he was very enjoying his lunch, right? But after listening to the Cambodian foreign minister's speech, then his stomach turned and said that I couldn't sit still. I need to rewrite my speech.
Yeah, and we have a lot of positive comments about Foreign Minister Siasak. I'm going to read out a few. This person says, I really admire him for being able to salvage the reputation and dignity of the country at the right moment when Cambodia was giving out misleading information. Another person says, I feel safe and relieved because of you. And this one says, this guy is quality. He's effective. The best Thai diplomat.
No, we have to admit that in the eyes of many people, what Siasak said at the UN General Assembly, changed things overnight. Changed the perception of many Thai people toward the foreign ministry overnight. Because before that, at the height of the Thai-Cambodian border tensions, the foreign ministry was seen as being too passive, very slow in responding.
The foreign minister was a missing person.
Remember that?
Yeah.
The foreign minister then, Kun Marit Singyempong, was described as a person missing in action because he was nowhere to be seen or heard.
Yeah, it was only the spokesperson who was the only one who gave out press conference most of the time on the issue.
And Kun Siasak himself admitted that his 20-minute speech changed everything.
Yes, exactly. He won hearts of the Thai people and even expats here. Actually, 2 nights ago, we were at the foreign ministry for a reception with the foreign minister, and he actually said that even staff on the plane asked for a selfie with him. So that the 20-minute speech that changed his life.
So what he said at the UN General Assembly could be seen as the first step toward what Kun Siasak described as Thailand's attempt to return to the radar screen of international diplomacy.
Yeah.
Because Thailand has been missing from the screen for too long.
You're actually the first person who quoted that comment, putting Thailand back on the radar, isn't it? So at this point, I guess you might be wondering what policies are being offered by the government, right? So we're going to highlight a few, just the notable ones. We're going to start with the quick, big win. It was presented by the Commerce Minister, which covers 7 key areas like U.S. tariffs negotiations, border trade between Thailand and Cambodia, because we all know the borders are still closed, the new FTAs and export markets, cost of living, agricultural goods, supporting SMEs, and adjusting regulations and bringing in more technology. These all seem to hit the right notes with the Thai business sector somehow.
No, under the previous governments of Kun Sethar and Kun Paetongtarn, we heard these terms, quick win, right? Very often.
Yeah.
But this time around, what we hear is quick, big win.
Yeah, we'll add another
So what
word.
is the difference?
What's the difference? Quick, big win.
Big win first. Big win is something that politicians believe that would work magic.
Okay.
Solving problems overnight. And along the way would help them get more votes in the next election, right?
Also, that's the big win.
Big win is quick, big win. Even more impressive measures that would really address some of the urgent problems and bring them even more votes for the next election.
Time is running out.
Yeah.
But anyway, according to the latest Bank of Thailand's press statement on economic and monetary conditions, Thailand is facing weaker agricultural and industrial output, which weigh on trade and freight transport services, and manufacturing production continue to decline as well because there's sluggish demand in some sectors, and merchandise exports to the US also decline. So it seems that the quick big win is not only about the election, but this is a strategy that maybe ticks the boxes of challenges that the Thai economy is facing.
Remember, during the time of the Sethar and Paetongtarn governments, they talk a lot about, legalizing casinos and online gambling.
Yeah.
So those seem to be their priorities. But Anutin government, especially the Prime Minister himself, is taken the totally opposite positions.
He's always been against it.
No casinos, no online gambling.
Yeah.
At whatever cost, he would go against it, against these policies. Yeah.
So this is what he says on the policy statements as well. So there was the stance on ruling out the entertainment complex projects which incorporate any form of gambling venue. And Anutin also said that he would seriously tackle illegal gambling.
So now comes the real quick big win, right?
Yes. Who came up with the word anyway? It's a bit hard to pronounce. Quick big win, tongue twister in a way.
So this comes in the form of the so-called co-payment scheme.
Yes.
Thai is called คนละครึ่ง 50-50, right? That means that when you spend money under this scheme, whatever you pay for, services, buying goods, the government will subsidize half of what you pay.
Yeah. This is actually the policy that was implemented in General Prayut Chan-o-cha's tenure first, and it was very successful. So they're bringing it back. Anyway, long story short, the policy statement contains 15 points in total. It took 2 days and 1 night to complete the session because there were many questions and colorful comments from the MPs. There's also issues like land dispute in Buriram and the alleged links between the scammer gangs and politicians and border dispute with Cambodia that were mentioned. So, yeah.
So besides all these so-called quick big win things, right? One of the other things that the Thai media have been paying attention to is what kind of objects of worship that the new cabinet members bring to their new offices.
The office essentials. Of course, we have to start with Kun Anutin. By the way, what would you bring on the first day of work? Like if it were you?
No, I bring my intention to my own
wow.
work, what to achieve.
I'd bring my laptop.
But Thai politicians or bureaucrats have different ideas about being on their first day at work.
Okay, for Thai politicians, they may have one thing in common, and that is their beliefs in sacred spiritual beings. And here is what Prime Minister Anutin Charnvirakul brought into his office on the first day at work. It was a gold-tiered umbrella, 7 tiers to be exact, which he put over a statue of Narasimha, or the Lion Vishnu, at a government house. He said to reporters that Bowon Sakwano, who is one of his deputy prime ministers, recommended it. And the umbrella signifies peace, security, grace, and honor.
He was asked by reporters if he plans to pay respect to the statue every day. The Prime Minister said that he always pays respects to sacred statues as he passes them on the way to work. So that's one way of confirming that he will do that every day.
Yeah, it's gonna take a while, like all the way to get to the office. And anyway, as for Napinthorn Srisanpang, a minister for the office of the Prime Minister, he brought a Buddha statue and a sacred talisman by a famous monk to decorate his office as well.
So this past 1 week, the Thai media have been full of stories about what kind of objects of worship that the new ministers bring to their offices.
Well, hopefully it will help them, at least boost their morale at work. Anyway, we're in October now, and what is it? It's a season of
changing of God, especially in the armed forces.
Yes.
And all eyes have been very, very focused on who will be promoted and who will replace whom in important positions. And this year there are as many as 300 generals of the Thai military who go into retirement. So there have been a lot of goodbye, welcome ceremonies in the past 1 week, right? But of all the 300 generals who retire, only one was the focus of the Thai media.
Yes.
And that was Lieutenant General Bunsin Pat Klang. Of course, you must be familiar with this name by now, right? Kun Bunsin was the commander of the 2nd Army Region until 2 days ago, right? And which is the 2nd Army Region has been playing a very important role in safeguarding the border areas in the northeast of Thailand. And I'm sure Kun Bunsin will be missed by a lot of people who regard him as a true soldier in the face of the ongoing conflict with Cambodia. And at the height of the dispute with Cambodia, he struck a right chord with large sectors of the Thai society through his hardline stance toward Cambodia. And the nationalistic tone of his rhetoric, certainly has few level of patriotism not seen before in recent history of Thailand.
Yeah, wherever he went, Bun Sin received a rock star welcome. Even students at primary schools seemed captivated by his presence. If you look at the pictures, a lot of people go up to him to ask for selfies. But for a time, it seemed he spent more time making headlines with his speaking tour at various campuses than on the front line. But as reported in our last episode, Bun Sin also has his critics who question the motive behind his campus tour. They see it as part of the military's efforts to indoctrinate the younger generation of Thais. And if that is indeed the case, Bun Sin must have done his job very well, as public perception of the military has hardly been more positive.
You can judge that by the receptions he had been getting from his
everywhere.
audiences, even from the school children. So political observers believe that even after Bun Sin's retirement, the Thai public trust in the military is likely to hold as long as the conflict with Cambodia continues. But it was certainly Bun Sin who single-handedly helped boost the image of the Thai military, like no other generals in the past has ever been able to do.
As long as I have lived, I haven't seen a more popular soldier.
So, big question is what is Kun Bun Sin's retirement plan? Does he have one?
A lot of people have been wondering about this. In one of his last interviews before retirement, the general actually said that he will stop talking to the media about Thai-Cambodian border dispute after leaving the army. However, he said that he will continue with his speaking tour at schools and universities to promote patriotism and foster devotion to religion and the monarchy amongst its students.
And what he said was very interesting. He said, after September 30th, the day he retired, I will lay down my rifle and knapsack and arm myself with a sickle instead.
Oh.
Why sickle? He was referring to his penchant for farming. Bun Sin, who is known for his simple country lifestyle, came from a modest family in Udon Thani in northeastern Thailand. And he recalled that as a boy, he often had to catch fish and field crabs to supplement his meals. Which is very common for country children. They go out to the fields and to look for fish and crabs. Because
they enjoy it as well as the local meals, right? So when asked if there was anything in particular that he wanted to do after retirement, his answer was, there is nothing else I want to do. I think I have done all that I wanted to do. So to honor his service to the country, the Mahasarakam University, which is a major university in northeastern Thailand, is awarding him with an honorary degree in mechanical engineering. So Bun Sin actually graduated from Julajom Clare Royal Military Academy with a bachelor's degree in the same field.
Now, in addition to that, just 2 days after his retirement, General Bun Sin was appointed a special advisor to the Army Commander-in-Chief, General Pana Krauplot. But certainly his best and most honorable retirement gift must be his appointment as a member of the Special Royal Guards of His Majesty the King. There could not be any honor that is more precious than that, right? So,
by the way, beyond his celebrated military career, General Bun Sin will always be remembered for one thing. And that is being, in a way, a catalyst for the downfall of Prime Minister Pathongthan Shinawat. Remember in her controversial phone conversation with the Cambodian strongman Hun Sen in June this year, she referred to him as our opponent. So that remark later came back to haunt her in the Constitutional Court's ruling, which ultimately ousted her from office. So Bun Sin was involved, and people will remember him for that as well. For not doing anything, but for just being mentioned.
He'll be missed, certainly. There's no question about that. Now we all know that besides the economic woes that the country is facing, one other serious problem facing the country is corruption.
Yeah.
But we hardly hear politicians talk about it. It's probably because they are part of the problem.
Yeah, even for the two previous administrations of Pathongtham Shinawatra and Sethar Thavisin, combating corruption was not their priority. It was not even mentioned in their policy statements. But while in office, Sethar even showed no interest in meeting with representatives of the Anti-Corruption Organization of Thailand, a network of anti-corruption agencies in the private sector. And his successor, Patongtham, was no more enthusiastic in dealing with the problem.
So former Prime Minister Charnvirakul of the Democrat Party said he felt obliged to thank Prime Minister Anutin Charnvirakul for highlighting efforts by his government against corruption in the policy statement he presented to the House this week. But Kun Chuan did so with some reservations.
Yeah, he did. Speaking during the debate on policy statement, Chuan questioned the seriousness of the new government in dealing with the corruption problem. For your information, Thailand has dropped one place to 107th in the 2024 Corruption Perceptions Index, as reported by Transparency International early this year. The question, of course, is, can the Anutin government do any better or try harder than the previous administration in tackling the problem?
Kun Chuan, the former Prime Minister, is one of a very few politicians who have been very consistent in talking about this problem. Very vocal, very outspoken on this issue. And he never hesitates whenever he speaks on the issue to point his finger as politicians, people, even among his own peers, for exacerbating the problem through vote buying. He has been emphasizing the need to clamp down on vote buying by politicians in elections. And Chuan is known for his frugal lifestyle and his clean image.
Yes.
And therefore, he's more than qualified to speak on the issue. Much more qualified than any other politicians.
But anyway, in his remarks, the soft-spoken former Prime Minister drove home the devastating consequences of vote buying. On previous occasions, he had spoken about how certain political parties has dumped money to win in southern constituencies in the last general elections in 2023 as well.
We are giving importance to the South because the region promises to be a very hotly contested constituencies in the next elections. And the South has always been a stronghold of the Democrat Party, the country's oldest party, which Kun Chuan was once a leader. But Phumthai Thai Party of Prime Minister Anutin has been making steady inroads into the region. So the coming election will set up a clash between these two major parties.
Chuan has suggested that many voters in the region who once cast their ballots out of political conscience are now being swayed by money. In the House debate, Chuan pulled out all the stops to attack vote buying.
And this is what he said, very interesting. He laid out, the scenario of the impact of vote buying on the economy and on the country. He said, vote buying leads to corruption. When you spend money to buy votes, it's only natural that you would turn to corruption to recoup your investment. So when you win an election through vote buying, the first thing you do is appoint a corrupt permanent secretary in your ministry. And that permanent secretary then appoints department heads who are also corrupt. Those department heads in turn appoint division chiefs who are also corrupt. So this creates a vicious cycle of corruption that the country has been trapped in.
You know what, interestingly, Chuan also pointed out that there is one thing that is distinctive about Anutin and his two predecessors, Patongtham Shinawatra and Sethar Thavisin. That is, they're all super rich.
But he quickly added that there's no guarantee that rich people do not cheat. Because there has always been kind of saying in Thai politics that, rich people, they are rich, so why do they need to cheat? But Kun Chuan always believes that there's no guarantee that rich people don't cheat.
Yeah. I remember in Parliament he said there are rich people who are so rich and yet they're still corrupt. And he also challenged Prime Minister Anutin to prove that one can be wealthy and still remain uncorrupt. And we're not quite sure whether Anutin is happy to take up that gauntlet or not.
No, but one thing we must not forget is that Kun Anutin's Phumchai Thai party is seen as the epitome of traditional Thai politics, relying heavily on spending power and the influence of the so-called Ban Jai, which is the regional political clans or families that, with their wealth and influence, often determine election results in rural constituencies.
Yeah, but anyway, we're heading up to an election now, next year, early next year as well. So the ball set in motion. So a lot will be, I guess, more interesting in Thai politics as the time comes. Anyway, thank you so much for watching this week's Media Polls. I hope you have a good weekend.
Okay, see you next week then.
Bye.